and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to episode 109 of the ItsObviousGaming podcast. I'm your host, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
Hey boys, how are you?
And Jacob Alka.
Top of the afternoon to you guys.
Oh, wow.
I really wanted to say morning, but I can't.
A couple hours ago it would have been morning, so.
Yeah, you're not wrong, that's for sure.
We are currently in the afternoon, though, so good observation.
If you're watching this podcast when it releases, then it is the morning. Well, I guess in our neck of the woods.
It could be any time of the day where you're listening.
Yeah, well, if it is the morning, top of the morning to you.
Top of the evening as well.
Yes. Gentlemen, how are you doing this fine Saturday afternoon? We have Taco Bell in our bellies, and it's time to talk about video
Whether
games.
or not that's a good thing or not is yet to be seen.
It wasn't a good thing for me.
Yeah, you've already...
It was about an hour ago. I already had to take care of business, but
well, good for you.
Yes.
So
it's our weekly taco talk. Still deciding on the name, but Taco Bell was once again superb.
It was, yeah. I enjoyed myself.
Yes.
Very relaxed in there today as well. Surprised at how little people are in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Does it feel like a weird day to you guys? It feels like a weird Saturday to me. I'm not sure what it is.
Not necessarily.
I don't feel like it's an actual Saturday.
What day does it feel like to you?
I feel like it's a Thursday or something.
Thursday. I mean, now, 4th of July definitely threw off the entire week. Definitely threw off my schedule. My classes were switched around because of it and stuff. And I didn't get to go to work last night because of class, so that's kind of strange. But oddly enough, it still feels like Saturday to me, so I guess you're just a complete weirdo.
Yeah, I'm just an idiot.
Maybe.
How was y'all's 4th of July?
I did absolutely nothing. I think I just sat at home all day.
Okay.
I think Casey and I went... Casey and I went to Dreamland. That's what we did.
Good choice.
Did you get that picture I sent you?
I did, like, later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sent it to you like 3 days later. I forgot to send it to you.
Was it good?
It was fantastic, yeah.
Nice.
So we had that, and I took home some Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm pretty sure that's all I did.
That sounds like a good day.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do?
I had a bunch of family over, and we grilled something in our green egg.
Your green egg.
It was just fun catching up with everyone.
Nice.
It's a good 4th.
What did you guys have? Hot dogs and stuff?
No. Hot dogs.
You don't like hot dogs?
For 4th of July? Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
What the hell,
I mean, we had like a real...
What does that
We had like a real
mean?
feast. We didn't like cook hot dogs for dinner.
Hot dogs and cheeseburgers on 4th of July.
Yeah.
No.
That's
an American thing, yeah, but I don't know. We wanted to make something nice.
They're German. I forgot they're German. You have sauerkraut and stuff?
Sauerkrauts and sausage
I think we
links.
smoked a... Oh, what was it?
Methamphetamine?
Some kind of pork, but it was really good.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what.
Floored right now. Goodness. Like
What's the
real
problem?
Americans, I had hot dogs and hamburgers.
I can have hot dogs and hamburgers whenever I want.
But
it's not a holiday food.
It is a 4th of July food, absolutely.
If you're like on the pool side, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
But we weren't on the pool side.
You have to be
You have to have a pool within 50 feet to have hot dogs.
That's what I'm saying. I have hamburgers every week. Why should I?
That is true.
I never have hamburgers.
That's a good point because your mom makes incredible food all the time, but you guys do have a decent amount of that kind of stuff. So, and I'm very jealous because I rarely get homemade items like that at my household. I think the last time my mom cooked, we had some sort of chicken. My mom cooks like once every 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So,
see, when I lived with my parents, they cooked all the time.
Yeah.
But we never cook burgers. Only like when we're having family over and we're cooking out.
Right. That's why I get excited for hamburgers and hot dogs on 4th of July because I rarely have them as well.
Yeah. But specifically on 4th of July.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like but we also have them a lot of Saturdays and football Saturdays and stuff. Yeah. Which we're only a little over a month out from college football returning. That's pretty cool.
50-something days.
Yeah. I need to get back into the cycle of keeping up with things. Like the last several months, I've been out of sports completely. I've not paid a single lick of attention, but it's exciting to get back into that season because it's always just wonderful every weekend watching some football, and just that fall season is fun.
Yeah.
So still plenty of summer left, but I'm excited for fall to roll around.
I am as well. My 4th was pretty good. Just went to my parents' house. Family came over. Hot dogs, hamburgers. I made some banana pudding, dude.
You made it yourself?
Yeah, I need to bring y'all some of my banana pudding. Not meaning to brag, but my grandpa especially is like freaking out over it.
Okay.
It's not my recipe or anything.
Where'd you learn it?
Just online. They were like, hey, make some banana pudding. Call back to when we worked at Woodstock about a year and a half ago. I don't know. however long ago. Remember Angel Fire Barbecue?
Yes.
Their banana pudding.
Did you put some cinnamon in yours?
I did, dude.
Nice.
It's unreal. Cinnamon and banana pudding is like the best thing ever.
It is. That changed my life when we had that.
Yeah. So I made it homemade. It's really easy to make. It's like flour, sugar, milk, eggs, vanilla. Throw a little cinnamon in there.
And bananas, of course.
Actually, no.
You don't put bananas in yours?
I do it like I do layers. I do like a layer of vanilla wafers, a layer of cut up bananas. Then I put a layer of the pudding.
Yeah.
Then wafers, banana, pudding, and then top it off with some whipped topping. And
where does the cinnamon and sugar incorporate?
The cinnamon is in the pudding concoction.
Okay. Now is it cinnamon and sugar or just cinnamon?
Oh, the sugar's in it as well.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Yeah,
okay.
A lot of sugar. But then you just like slowly mix that on a stovetop, and it just turns into this delectable banana pudding. So good. So
man.
easy to make, and it is delicious. So
I'd
good.
love to try that.
Yeah, I would love to make it for you guys one day.
Speaking of Angel Fire 7, before I resigned from my
Angel
previous...
Fire 7?
Angel... That's what they were called, weren't they?
I think...
The barbecue place.
Was it 7?
Yeah, it was 7's in the title.
Oh, okay.
I think I have the business card in my wallet.
Why is that a name of a place?
I don't know. It's just what I think it was named after a firehouse, and it was like number 7 of the firehouses or something.
Whose water is this?
Mine's the one that was like right here.
Okay.
But yeah, they're called Angel Fire 7. I just realized. But I actually was driving behind that truck on, what's that highway called that leads to Woodstock?
Oh, no.
500 or something. I haven't been on it in so long, I forgot what it's called. But that interstate, I was driving behind that truck and it was I was having flashbacks of our time being there. And I knew they were headed to the Truck and Tap because where else would they be going in that area? Well, probably countless places, but that's always where they went on that specific day. So having all those flashbacks of Pizza Tuesdays and Angel Fire on Thursdays.
Dude,
man.
Pizza Tuesdays. Jacob, every Tuesday we'd go to this pizza truck, Dominic's Pizza, and this
Brick oven pizza.
This man would make just the most delectable New York style pizza. I think we'd get the Staten Island pizza, pepperoni, sausage, and something else.
I think maybe ham or bacon or something.
I don't know, something on there. So good. Then we get a glass Coke to go with it.
Oh yeah.
Every Tuesday. It was delicious. So good.
Where does this guy have trucks at?
It was in Woodstock, Georgia. This place called the Truck and Tap. It was a bar, but out back they would have food trucks come and stop by. So every day it was like something different.
Yeah, that's what made it a totally unique establishment. Not only did they have like all these craft, like what I would describe as indie beers, like all these beers that you're not too familiar with in this really cool bar, but every day there's a different food truck. So every time you go, it's a new experience. So it's awesome.
Yeah. And the two that stuck out the most, in my opinion, was the pizza and this barbecue place we're talking about. Both very, very good. So, but anyways, I had that for 4th of July, and our neighborhood, we don't even have to go anywhere for fireworks.
Right.
We had like something out of Disney World on my front porch.
Wow.
At my parents' front porch. Ridiculous, dude. We have 3 cul-de-sacs that like compete with each other to like outdo each other, and it is just all over your head. Like not these. There was this like one family down the street with that like little box that like spray stuff out of the ground. So they're like, and then like right above our head, it's just like ridiculous.
That's
so
cool.
We don't even have to go anywhere.
So there were no fireworks near me until last night, which was the 7th. So quite a few days after 4th of July, I was in the middle of shooting a video, and I just had to stop for 5 minutes and let the fireworks go off, and I just sat there patiently until they were done.
Oh, dang, dude. There was like 2 or 3 days up until 4th of July around they were like prepping, and fireworks were going off everywhere. So that's pretty much all I did for 4th of July. It was a good one.
Cool.
So
it was kind of weird that it was on a Tuesday as well. Just smack dab in the middle of the week. But
I had Monday and Tuesday off, so I had a nice 4-day weekend.
I got Tuesday off, but I had to make it up on Wednesday, so I didn't really get a day off.
Yeah, I didn't make up my day on Friday, so.
Nice.
Oh, well.
Gotcha.
Pretty cool, man. Well, gentlemen, were you able to play any video games this week?
A little bit.
Yeah, we did. We had Jacob play Spider-Man VR.
Yeah, we made that video.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It was fun.
Jacob's, if you really want to see a man's ass, come take a peek at Jacob's in the Spider-Man VR video. We really show off his physique.
I got so many bug bites from doing that.
Did you? Because I didn't get any.
Yeah, see, it took like a day for me to feel them.
Okay.
But they eventually
because your arms and legs were exposed. I was pretty much covered up.
Now,
it was just my legs that got bit.
I haven't talked to you about this video.
Right.
I kind of saw it. I watched it. I admired it, and that was about it. But to those that haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out, then come back for this discussion. But I didn't get it.
Yeah, we actually just made it up as we went.
Okay. I assumed that's kind of what was going on.
Right. No, we because I knew we wanted to dress. At first, we were just going to dress Jacob up in a really small Spider-Man suit and have him play the demo. I'm like, well, we might as well, if we're going to spend the money, we might as well put a little more effort into it. So literally, like we would shoot videos when we were bored in the backyard back in the day, the exact same thing. We literally just made it up as we went. Because when we were in Party City, Casey was like, I was like, Casey, I probably need you to be a villain. Because I'm thinking about the whole thing while we're in Party City. I'm like, maybe I could, Jacob could be in my backyard taking pictures or something, and I'll rob you, and he'll chase after me, and we'll fight for like 5 seconds, and that'll be it. So Casey's trying to pick out what hat she wants to buy, and there's cheeseburger hats and all these different strange hats and everything. She's like, well, this one has a chicken on it. She's like, that's kind of funny. It's like, all right, whatever, you can just get the chicken. So we came up with the chicken girl in the video. But we just made it up. Jacob just saves the chicken girl's hat from me, who steals it.
Okay.
And of course, I wanted to play some silly string as well, and we wasted the whole can in one shot, which is my favorite part of the video. Jacob's like trying to get it to come out, and she's like spraying mist. So funny. But it was a good time just running around the backyard, something a little different for a Let's Play. But it tied in nicely to the Let's Play because, he had just finished taking pictures of the chicken girl. But, there's a new bird bad guy. It's the vulture. So you have to deal with the vulture now. So kind of tied them together at the end, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I agree. Cool.
I wish we could do that kind of stuff more often, but due to budgets and time, I know it sounds funny to be like, the budget for this huge film. But we're all so individually busy, and I'm broke all the time now that
it's nice to have a reason to do one.
Right. And just spending that amount of money on the costume and everything was surprisingly expensive. But
yeah, I mean, it definitely opens up just doing that one. I think we should look into the possibility of doing things like that with upcoming Let's Plays. If it seems like...
I have an awesome one in mind. I don't want to spoil it, but Jacob and I have been talking about it for a while. I think I may have mentioned it to you at some point, but I think it could be... I think people would really like it a lot. It isn't Spider-Man related, but it's...
We definitely need Preston here for it.
Yeah, it's in the same vein of doing something like that, but...
Okay.
In time, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I in addition to that, I did a Titanfall 2 stream on Wednesday.
Okay.
How'd that go?
How's Titanfall 2 still holding up?
Dude, it's awesome. That game is so awesome every time I play it. I mean, it sucks that it doesn't have as big of a following as I think it deserves, but every time I play it, it's just, I think I said this last week, it just feels amazing to play, and it's a ton of fun. I just unlocked that rifle called the M14 or something, or maybe it's just like an M14, as a gentleman I was talking to in the chat about it, but it's the semi-automatic. It's kind of like an M1 Garand with 15 rounds, though. Dude, that thing is so accurate and so deadly. I mean, I'm amazed that it hasn't been nerfed. Like, it is literally so easy to use. You can kill anyone from a mile away without any effort whatsoever. It made the gameplay so much more fun because I love the Hemlock. I love the normal assault rifles. I'm not really much of a submachine gun guy because the maps are so wide open that you kind of have to be really up close to.
You got to be indoors
for them to be effective. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple maps that those are pretty good, but this rifle,
I guess
dude,
now with the two primaries.
Yeah, it
switch
helps.
to a submachine gun if you're indoors.
I think that's how it works. Is every time I've messed with my class, it only lets me either pick a pistol or something else.
Maybe it's a perk or something.
I think it's only a pistol. I think you can carry like the primary, a pistol, and then obviously you always have a Titan weapon.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that rifle, dude, made the latter half of the stream so much fun because you just feel like an absolute killing machine while you're using it. But that's one of those games that I like to go back to every couple of weeks and just run around and have fun, even if it's for a match or two, because I think when I did that stream, the only reason I streamed it is because I've been painting all day for my art class, and I was so freaking bored. It was so tedious and slow that I was like, I just want to run around as fast as possible and shoot things. That's why I streamed Titanfall.
I've always been fascinated by the grapple hook in Titanfall. It looks like a fun thing to play.
It is. It's funny because there's abilities that are arguably way more effective than that, but I just love using it because not only can you get up high really quickly, but I love attaching to something and getting the momentum to swing around something and launch yourself in the air and just like fly across the map is so much fun. But it was a fun stream, and again, I appreciate all of you who tuned in and hung out in the chat with me and talked for a while. It was a good time. I also played a game called Micro Machines World Series. It may be out now, maybe it's not, but a gentleman on the team I'm working with had to review it, so we had to shoot some footage for it. But it was, if you guys haven't heard of Micro Machines, it's what I like to describe as Twisted Metal meets Mario Kart meets Hot Wheels. It's basically little Hot Wheel cars, and a house setting, kind of like that Hot Wheels game we played when we were kids, but it's from a isometric perspective where it's kind of like up in the corner. And you play these little Hot Wheel cars, but there's like a race mode where you can, it's just like Mario Kart, and you pick up power up abilities, you can fight each other, but it's cool. The settings are interesting. There's, the kitchen, there's the backyard, I think there's a basement, there's a Ouija board level. It's basically all these settings around a house, so it's kind of interesting in that sense. But there's race mode, there's battle mode, where it's like very much so like Twisted Metal, where you have all these cars. It's very Overwatch inspired too. I mean, you look at it, it's basically Overwatch with Hot Wheel cars. I mean, there's all these different cars with different skins and legendary skins and voice lines and icons and everything. It's Overwatch. But
so, quick question: is it anything like Obliteracers?
It is. There's a mode called Elimination where it's exactly like Obliteracers, where the camera follows the person in first place. That's why I asked Evan in the group text. I was like, "What is that game called?" Because that's what it reminded me of.
Did you mention that in like your review?
I wasn't reviewing it, but I mentioned it to the guy reviewing it. He didn't mention it in his review. I guess it doesn't really matter.
I guess he doesn't value your opinion.
Yeah, I guess not. But
my water just fell off the table. I think it was slanted down.
I slid. It's a good catch though. You're like the real life Spider-Man.
You think?
Yeah, you definitely fill out the suit better than any Spider-Man before. I'll tell you that much.
Maybe.
So maybe you should have been cast in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Maybe I think the suit could have been a little bigger.
For you.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it kind of works though, because remember, it's baggy and he presses that button and it kind of suppresses to his size.
Oh, I had a large neck, like the neck area.
If you had the technology of his suit, then holy crap, Jacob, you would look unreal in that thing.
I mean, still, it could be bigger at that point, then it could just shrink down.
It's true.
So this one was just small.
Dude, I would love for that to be a thing for clothes. Like they just come in one size.
That'd be amazing.
And you just go, and it just fits you.
I bet it'd be really expensive, but I can't see that out of the question entirely. Maybe one day.
Oh, I definitely think that's feasible at some point.
Some kind of weird technology that does that. That is one of my favorite features of the
skin-tight suits.
Yeah. It makes total sense too. Just like it can fit anyone if you just press the button. Yeah. So that's awesome. What were we micro machines. But yeah, I didn't review it. I barely played it, but it was kind of fun, I guess. Something I dabbled in this week. I think that's all I played. In addition, Spider-Man VR, Titanfall, and Micro Machines. So. Oh yeah, and a ton of Zelda. I meant to say that in between my classes on Thursday and Friday, since our days were all screwed up, I had a little more time in between classes. All I did was Shrine Hunt, because I want to record me playing the third and final wave of the trials, and I haven't had a chance to sit down and do that yet, so I've just been Shrine Hunting in the meantime. Gained several more hearts, so I think I'll be A-okay going into it.
You're able to leave the shrine and come back to finish?
Yes.
Okay.
I did the first wave, and then you can go do whatever, and you can do the second wave.
So it allows you to leave after. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So I'm excited about that. I really want to unlock the full power of the Master Sword. I saw it in action after some people have unlocked it, and it looks pretty awesome. I mean, exactly what you'd expect. It's just always glowing blue, and it's strong, but it's just cool to have that for sure. Yeah. And I think I have exactly 20 more shrines left, which means I'm officially nearing the finish line.
Nice.
Which makes me sad.
I was kind of bummed to see that with a little bit of the information that came out this week about the next DLC, Champion of the Ballad, or something of the Champion.
The Champion's Ballad?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
That it's a prequel, and you're like doing this, you get the Master Sword powered up, and it's like I don't think you can even use that in the next DLC.
Well, if it's a prequel, Link will be there, and he'll have the Master Sword. Maybe it won't be glowing blue all the time, but he'll have the Master Sword.
That's true.
I assume. I think it'd be cool to see. I mean, Hyrule already is very, very beautiful. I think it'd be interesting to see a different perspective where it's all very peaceful. Yeah. I don't know what you're gonna do, but maybe it'll look slightly different, or there'll be new people there.
I'm assuming it'll take place when everything was.
It'd be cool to see Hyrule Castle in its prime too. Explore it, maybe.
That's true. It's just we get all these new armor, these armor sets and stuff of the Phantom armor, just all the DLC stuff, and we might not be using it in the next one,
right?
So that's kind of a.
I guess ultimately they think of all that DLC we got with this previous pack. That's good for whether you're a new player coming in, or even if you want to just replay the game, you have all this additional stuff to use and experience. So it makes sense in that way. But yeah, you're right. It'd be cool to see how that could progress into an additional. Yeah, I mean,
granted,
DLC.
You might be able to do it they haven't commented on that yet. But I think they had to have done the prequel, because based on the way that this game ends, I can't really see anything preceding that. So, but
What a game, though.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It's freaking great. Jacob,
yes.
Speaking of Zelda, I'm assuming you've played that this week as well.
Yeah, I dabbled a little bit in it,
Yeah.
Literally before we started this, I completed the first Divine Beast. I mean, very cool. It was the one that we did in one of our videos, so I kind of knew what to do. But it was still
Ruta, the elephant.
Yeah, Varuta.
Varuta. Yeah,
the water elephant.
I distinctly remember shooting that video and us struggling exponentially to realize you can manipulate the elephant. Yeah. And then after that, once you know you can manipulate all the Divine Beast, all of them are a breeze after that.
I remember it took us a while to even open up the door to get the map.
Right.
We're like, how do you get in?
We're like, what the hell? Why is this so hard? So
yeah, we admittedly had to look up things for that video.
We did.
We were short on time.
We made sure we looked cool though, like we didn't look it up. We're like, oh, dude, I just realized you can manipulate it. It was only a second ago that we didn't realize that. When in reality, we spent like half an hour researching how to do it.
Thanks to the power of editing.
Yeah.
But yeah, still enjoying my time a lot. I was telling you guys at lunch. The game, just as you're playing it, just has this way of making me really happy. And I don't know why. It's just probably just a combination of the art style, the massive world, and the music all at once. And every time I play it, I'm just so happy. And I'm really enjoying my time still. But I didn't have a whole lot of time to play this week. Just mostly worked towards the Divine Beast, I mean. I tried to take on a Lionel, is that what they're called? Mm-hmm. And I failed miserably. I tried like 15 times. Tried different tactics and everything, but I couldn't.
It's tough when you only have a few hearts.
Yeah, I only had 4 hearts at the time. Yeah. So just one hit, and I only have like a half a heart left. Mm-hmm. So
even when you have like really powerful armor, I've realized. I mean, I don't have full health. I think I need like 4 or 5 more hearts to have all the hearts. But even with strong armor on, he'll hit me, and I'll lose like 7.
I feel like I wasn't doing a lot of damage too. Like my weapons aren't good enough. I don't know. It could be a number of things. Just me not being very good. Maybe.
You just need a good stick, man. Just pick up a stick. You're good.
Yeah. Just light it on fire, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, even with good weapons, his health whittles down pretty slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So,
I enjoy those fights, though. They're definitely some of the more dynamic fights as far as timing your dodges and everything.
Yeah. I like the mini bosses around the world. Like even just like the stone figures or whatever.
Yeah, I enjoy fighting those from time to time. They're always a nice little surprise.
Yeah, I fought my first one of those like earlier in the week, and that was fun.
I'll tell you what enemies are badass are those white. Is it pronounced bokoblins?
Yeah.
Okay, because those white ones, man, they're vicious.
Yeah, they're pretty hard.
I don't think I've seen
especially when there's a few of them, man.
Yeah.
I don't like the big guys with the clubs.
Moblins.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the white version of those are scary too.
They are.
Yeah, it goes like red,
like
blue,
red's
white.
Easy.
I think there's black too, like dark brown ones. There's red, blue, dark brown,
there's like
and white.
Dark ones.
The one with the red eyes, the dark
those.
ones aren't quite as deadly as the white, but they're pretty tough too.
I don't know if I remember those.
There's a few of them in
insane because I've played like
Trial of the Sword as well.
Okay.
Which trials are you in right now? Still the beginning ones?
Dude, I told you I got like to the 3rd or 4th stage and fell off this giant tower.
In the beginning trials?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all I tried though. Just a dumb mistake on my.
Didn't you say you were saving it for a plane ride? Or something?
I'm kind of waiting for if I'm traveling to really play that. I have a lot of other things to play anyway. So
gotcha.
You still dabbling in Metal Gear? Or no, you said you moved on to something else. Oh yeah, you did Crash Bandicoot.
This week, it was a lot of Crash Bandicoot. I platinumed the first one. I dabbled in the second one a little bit. I was telling you guys at lunch, and there are a lot of articles about it talking about how it's surprisingly hard. One article was like titled like, "Your childhood is now ruined due to this game being so hard."
Now, was it that hard back in the day? Because I never played the original.
I don't remember.
Sure
I think it was definitely hard to 100% it back in the day.
I don't think they changed any gameplay mechanics.
The jumping is a little bit different. There's like videos comparing it, how the first one, if you stand still, you can still jump far, but in this one you have to get a little bit of momentum to jump far. So that has changed a few levels.
Man, I really want to play that. I wish I had time.
It's fun. It really is fun. I had a lot of fun. Getting the platinum though was I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty freaking hard and it was really irritating. There were a few levels where I almost just was like, F this, I give up. But I persisted through it, and I the harder it got, the more it like pumps me up to want to get the platinum. I didn't want this game to beat me.
Right.
So But yeah, it was hard, very rewarding though. Like once you play this level for like 2 hours or like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just over and over and over again to finally get the perfect rundown, and you get the gold relic or whatever you need to beat the level. It's very satisfying. But yeah, definitely was not easy. I went into it hearing everybody talking about how hard it was, and I was like, oh, I can't be that hard. And it definitely surprised me. So, but it was a lot of fun. So I got that out of the way. I'm sure I'll probably knock out 2 and 3 eventually. I kind of want to take a tiny bit of a break because, like I said, that game was pretty exhausting. I platinumed it in like 3 days, so it was just a ton of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
But while I was playing Crash Bandicoot, I was playing a game called Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that last week.
Yeah, guys, I love this game so much. I am so freaking addicted to it. It is so great. I have the MMO bug right now where I just will play that game. If I get started, I'm gone for hours. I will just zone out and just go around doing side quests and these things called fates, which are just kind of what were those things in Destiny? The random events that would have public event. There's they're pretty much public events, and you're just nicking those away with everybody else. I just got to my first dungeon. I haven't done it yet. I'm still not that far into the game. I'm like level 27 or something.
What class are you?
I am the Lancer, which will eventually turn into the Dragoon. And I've been looking at some videos, and apparently people make fun of the Dragoons because they have some problems. But then I've also heard other people say that they've been patched and they're a lot better now. But I don't care. They look the coolest to me. I'll have to show you guys some of their in-game gear. It looks freaking sick.
So it's not like when Jacob told us to be Blood Elves in World of Warcraft when we played?
No.
You guys looked great.
We looked very handsome.
I actually started out as I forgot the name of the race, but it's like a cat person. Okay. And
I remember you telling me about this.
Purely due to their idle stance.
Right.
It was the coolest looking idle stance. They like had their hands like turned weird. I don't know. It looked cool. So like about 2 or 3 hours into me playing, I couldn't accept that I was a cat person. I can't identify with this cat man.
Yeah.
So due to me being a subscriber, I have this potion that allows me to recreate my look, and I didn't think it would let me change my race, but it did. So I changed to just a normal person, and I messed with like the idle stances to where if I stand still for like 2 seconds, he'll like cross his arms or something. So it made it way more bearable to just stand around and stuff. I know that's completely ridiculous, but
I get that. I mean, you have to deal with this character for hundreds of hours. You might as well appreciate everything the way they appear. So. Yeah.
And that is one of the very small complaints I have with this game. The early game gear is goober to the max. You look like a goober head. The first, up until where I got right now, I looked cool. And then I got a better piece of gear, which is like this shirt with this V-neck down to like your stomach, and I'm like, oh, I look dumb again. But once you get in game, like the in-game gear, all of it looks really cool. There's 2 new classes with the DLC, like a samurai and a ninja. And I'm seeing people running around with them, and I'm like, oh, I want to play as that. That looks super awesome, but I don't want to buy the expansion pack just yet because I am like obsessed with it right now, and I'm loving it. But I was obsessed with this game and loving it the first time I played through, and I got almost a max level and something else came out. So I don't know how long I'm going to stay with this game. I would love to get to the point where I'm always going back to this game because it is super awesome. I really enjoyed the combat. I haven't had a lot of experience with MMO combat, but there are these cool, like you can do combo attacks. Like if you have your hotkey and you start, there's like combos you do where you have to do this move, then the next move, then the next move. I don't know if that's a common MMO thing. Yeah. It is? Yeah. Okay, never mind. I don't know. I just think it's cool.
What do you mean, like combos and like you have to use an ability first, then you can unlock a new one to use?
Well, you can like let's say there's
you chain them together.
Yes, you chain them together. Okay. Whereas if you use let's say there's move 1 through 3. If you move 3 out of order, it doesn't do as much damage as if you did move 1, 2, then 3.
So is there any reason to ever not do them out of order?
No.
Okay.
You're wanting to do the combo.
See, I think Final Fantasy in that regard is unique. Where you can combo like that, but MMOs generally like there's sequences to how you do things in combat.
Okay,
that's just a thing that's always happened.
Gotcha. Okay, I know there's like every
MMO has their little thing that they do.
Yeah. I do. People are talking about like, I don't think it's called a formation, but it's just like the order at which you do these moves. It's like if the class you're playing, there's like a good one and you need to like memorize it. Like, so you're constantly just doing this move, then this move, then this move, then this move, then this move. So it's just like an order you need to do these things, especially in like raids and stuff.
Gotcha.
One thing I don't also, like I said, I don't play MMOs, but when you level up, you're not having to select which move you want next or whatever. It's just like when you get to level 27, you just unlock everything. And it's so easy. It's just like so
you just unlock skills.
Yeah, you just unlock all these skills. I don't have to like worry about like, am I picking the right one? It's just like, no, these are all the skills. You have every skill when you're done. So because I was playing ESO a little bit and before I actually started this, and man, ESO's fine. Like there was one very small stretch of time where I actually liked it a lot and stuff, but I've tried to go back to it several times and I just can't.
So you don't think if let's say in a perfect world,
and that's one of the reasons really quick is when you level up there's like all these menus and I'm like, which one do I pick? And I just don't really feel like doing that. So even though Final Fantasy I think is a lot more detailed and intricate in a lot of other things, that's just that of just like choosing what you want to do. I don't have to worry about that. So I don't feel like I'm making bad decisions. That's the thing about 14 is I haven't felt like I've made a bad decision this entire time. I'm just playing it and having fun. So that's is very fun about that game.
Okay.
So
are the worlds built well?
Yes.
Like, are they all vastly different and stuff?
Yes. There's 3 main worlds that in the base game. There's one called Udal, and it's like a big Colosseum area that's like in the desert kind of. And then there's Gridania, which is where, since I'm a Lancer, I started in this area, and it's like forests with a cool town and stuff. And then there's another one called Limosa, I believe, which is like a city on water, and it's pretty cool. But
there's a city on water in 15.
Yeah, you're right. 15. Yeah, you're right. But
it's actually a very cool city. I enjoyed playing.
I do, though. I was actually playing 15 again. I was going through the DLC, getting all the trophies and stuff, and I was having flashbacks to that main game, just all the cool big story moments and stuff, like that city in the water, like the Leviathan fight and stuff. It was really cool. But I like how oh crap, I forgot the main point I was about to make. But oh yeah, I like how you can switch classes at will. Like if you choose it, granted it's based on what weapon you equip. So if I equip a bow, I automatically turn into a bow guy, but I'm at level 1. So there probably aren't a lot of quests for you to level it up all the way, but it gives you the choice. Like I picked to be a cook.
Do you mean like you change classes?
Cooking is entirely a class you can play as?
Yeah.
So it's not just like, oh, I have abilities that allow me to use a bow now. It's like you're a new class.
Yeah, you're a new class, but you're at level 1.
That's weird.
Did you say
that's cool,
you're a cook?
Yeah, I'm a cook. That's my secondary class that I'm doing. So I'm like cooking food and stuff.
Interesting. I'm going to choose the cooking
class. What does that entail exactly? Does it create health and stuff?
I think so. I'm not like...
I think cooking's just like a thing that you can do to like help yourself.
I don't...
You can't just be a cook, right? Like that's not your main role.
No, it's like a profession. It's a profession. It's a job. There's the job system. You pick different jobs and stuff.
Is that just for currency and stuff? Or
I don't know.
Additional perks.
I don't know.
My diligence is increased by cooking these eggs.
It's not like you put on an apron and you have a spoon. Like now you're the cooking class or something. Like it's just a job, right?
No, I mean your class turns to cook.
Yeah.
You're literally holding a ladle in your hand.
So you could take that into combat if you wanted.
I don't know. I haven't tried to. I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. Like, I don't even know why I'm a cook. I'm just doing it and I'm leveling up and I'm like, I guess this has purpose.
Okay.
It's like you have like this whole list of things you can cook and you need.
I'm sure if you like get into raiding and stuff, you can make like special.
I'm sure there has to be a reason because there's like leatherworking, carpentry, blacksmithing, fishing, culinary.
Dude, I'd totally be a blacksmith, man.
Yeah.
Be like Will Turner from Pirates of the Caribbean.
So I have another class, a tank, and I was blacksmithing on him. But based on like you can repair your stuff. There's like weavers and stuff too. So if you're like a leather worker, you can repair if this things leather. I know you can sell stuff on a market as well, so I don't know if you can like cook stuff and then sell it and actually make a profit and stuff. I don't know. I need to look more into it. I'm kind of just running around smacking stuff with my pole.
Is there a quick question?
Stuff.
Is there a pirate class?
Pirate class? Yes. There are.
I love me some pirates
in the game. I actually just did a quest for one.
Okay.
I danced with them.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's the dancing in the game?
It's pretty cool.
So like,
there's a lot of emotes.
You know what's funny? Like some of the best animation I've seen in any game with as far as dancing is concerned is in Doom.
Really?
Like it looks incredible how good the
when you dance.
I don't know if animation is the right word. Yeah,
multiplayer.
Yeah, when you can dance. I mean, just all of them.
About the campaign, I was like, what?
No, all of them look unbelievably detailed and fluid. It's incredible how good they look.
I always like the dance emotes in Uncharted 4 multiplayer.
They're that good. They look that good.
It's like over the top ridiculous.
But I'm loving 14. If anybody in the community is playing 14 and knows anything, I'm talking and I really don't know what I'm talking about because, granted, I've been playing it for a long time. I know I'm just having a blast.
Sorry to interrupt you. You said it was free to like level 35?
I think to level 35. Yeah.
I mean, if you get to level 35 and you haven't made a decision of whether or not you like it.
Yeah.
You should be able to. I imagine by then you should know if you want to pay for it or not. But I was going to say, I've always wanted a system in an RPG or MMO where, let's say you're a blacksmith or just any kind of crafting. I'd love to be able to craft your own custom armor and weapons. Like, let's say there's a giant pool of random features for torso and gauntlets and helmets, and you can design not only like the way it's shaped and the way it functions, but like the colors on it and stuff. I think it'd be really cool.
I mean, I don't see why you're not doing that in this game if you're a blacksmith, creating armor. I know there's a dye system. You can dye everything. There is a cool mechanic when you're actually crafting. You get skills on your hot bar. So it's not like, hey, just craft this. Like I bring my like ladle out like on a pan, and I actually have to hit a skill on the hot bar to like move the progression along.
That's cool.
But then there's other skills where I can try and make the item better, but the durability of my like ladle will go down. And then there's another skill to bring it back up. So it's not like, oh, I'm just crafting. It's like, no, I can try and make it better. But once you create an object, then you can do like a quick craft if you don't want to go through that process. But it'll make it just like bare minimum, like to the extent of like how good the item is. So it's a lot more in depth than just going in like in a menu and just like, I'm going to craft this. There it is. Like, there's a system to it. So that's really cool. But like I said, if you're playing 14 and want to help me out or know anything, I don't know what server I'm on or anything, so I probably need to find that information out because I know you have to be like on the same server.
Jacob, what was the name of your server in World of Warcraft? Doomsbane.
I played on a couple different ones, but the one I spent the most time on was Bladefist.
Can you switch servers?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that on 14.
You have to make new characters, obviously.
Yeah.
Or you can pay for a server change.
That's so cool. Maybe to think there's like all these massive servers of just like countless people.
There's like over 50.
That's so cool.
It's so cool going into a main. I know that's a standard thing of MMOs, but I don't play a lot of them. But it's just so cool when I'm out questing like in the fields, like killing all these things, and I come back into town, dude, and you like turn the quarter, and there's like a million.
Yeah. I love that feeling.
Around.
That's like my favorite feeling from MMOs.
Dude.
Yeah,
so cool.
That's one of my favorite parts of Old Republic. Is just going to any space station or any city, and there just being like a plethora of bounty hunter, mostly Jedi, but bounty hunters and all these different classes of people just kind of amalgamating into this giant area. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's cool that there's created spaces where you can see other people doing this. Is what they need to do.
And that's where you get all your inspiration in MMO. You see one guy that looks like a total badass. You're like, that's my reason to keep playing.
Anytime I go to a big area, I see a cool guy. I just like follow him around. I'm like looking at their gear and stuff.
You're like, oh, how do I get this gear?
Yeah. But I'm freaking loving it. I know everybody has a lot of stuff to do, but I'd love to play with you guys, but y'all are too busy.
Getting hyped for that Black Desert.
It's fun, dude. It's really fun. I am hyped for Black Desert. I want to play.
Do you mind pulling up Discord, Ask IOG for just 5 seconds?
Yeah.
There's a gentleman who did not want to run on the podcast. I just want to just give him a shout out, his name, who mentioned how addicting that game really is. He says he knew he was going to have a lot of fun with it, but he's already spent like 300 plus hours in it, apparently.
Black Desert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. So he's telling us it's just as addicting as you'd imagine it to be. But I'm very excited to dive into that as well. I'll more than likely do it on Xbox. So.
Oh, wow.
So.
Justifiable?
No,
Let me see.
Dysnomia?
Oh. I guess it's Dysomnia. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't read the whole thing, but Insomnia, I'm totally excited to jump into Black Desert.
Yeah, I am too, for sure.
So
that's the thing is, I wonder if I'm still playing this game, if it's gonna detract me. I don't know. I'd like to get. I'm not at the like mindset where I want to play the exact same MMO for ever and
for
ever
sure.
and ever. Like I'd like to. I know you can, but I can't do that because I like to play new releases and stuff. But I would like to get to the point where I'm just like, oh, the new expansion came out. I'm going to play through it, do the raids, have, fun, blah, blah, blah. I'm done.
Yeah, I'd love to play it. WoW.
What is one game you feel like, in addition to new releases, you will always be able to go back and play, even if it's just a little bit?
Yeah.
Is it Ocarina of Time for you?
I guess.
For me, it's Halo 3. I mean, that game is timeless for me. So even if I only play it once a year, I know I can always go back to that, and I'm going to have a ton of fun with it.
I go back to Ocarina all the time. I think Breath of the Wild, I'm going to be going back to that a ton. I mean, I know it hasn't even been even like half a year, but I've pretty much done everything Valor Korok season, and I'm coming back to it. The DLC's helping, but that game just gives me a really good feeling when I
it's a very
it.
particular charm to it that when you're playing it, you just feel good when you're playing
and I really like that. Like, it's relaxing to me. It's a very relaxing game, and I have the urge to go back and play things like that. So I'm sure even years later on down, I'm sure I'll pop in Breath of the Wild every now and then. So that's really all I have to say about Final Fantasy XIV. Again, if you're interested at all, there is a free trial up to like $35. I don't know if you have to buy the base game, but if you do, I think it's like $10 or $20. And also Danny O'Dwyer's documentary about it is fascinating, and I have complete respect for the guys that changed this game around and turned it into what it is now. That the guys that made that game really like put everything into that game, and Square Enix put a lot, like they were in a bad situation when 14 first launched and stuff. So
it launched. It was a poor launch too, right?
Oh, awful. Yeah. The game just wasn't good. Just looking at it at its 1.0 phase and stuff is just like, holy crap, how it is just unprecedented that they were able to just quit this game and turn it on into a Realm Reborn, and it just fix everything and become like a super good MMO that everybody is sticking with now. Like it's right behind. I want to say right behind WoW. Like, oh, they're catching up. I don't know the subscriber amount, but I know it is the second most subscribed to MMO in the world.
WoW doesn't give away their numbers anymore. I assume because they just keep going down.
I heard with 14 it was like 5 million or something. So
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of MMOs out there, and especially not a lot of them do subscriptions now, because it's kind of like, I don't know, it seems kind of like scary to do that, but I mean, shoot, people are paying for 14.
That's a good model. Just have access to everything for $15 a month.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. It's like every update. Like, I was reading updates that just came out, and it was like all the new stuff it added. I was like, holy crap, that's cool. Like, I kind of wish Destiny would pay monthly if you would get that much substantial stuff like every single, month or whatever.
I mean, they're saying that they're going to release more content throughout the year for Destiny 2. So we'll see if that actually happens. But we're going to talk about more of that later, are we not?
Oh, absolutely.
One quick thing before we actually get into something worth talking about on this show.
Are you saying Final Fantasy isn't worth talking about? You don't eat hot dogs on 4th of July? What's the deal?
I'm kidding. I went to a very cool bar last night. It was called the Dark Horse Tavern, I believe.
I think Casey was telling me about it.
Yeah.
This is the karaoke one?
Yes.
Okay.
And we went downstairs for the first time and actually saw the karaoke being done.
Right.
And dude,
being committed.
Yeah. And it's like going to a little mini concert down there.
Right.
It's like
there's a live band, isn't there?
There's a huge stage. I felt like I was a teenager again because they were playing like Fall Out Boy.
Oh, that's awesome. Like the band was playing the songs?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Dude, they sounded so good too.
Wow.
But
dude, I bet that's the coolest karaoke experience.
Oh yeah, everyone was so into it down there. Everyone was singing. Like, it was so fun.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I had a blast.
Did you say speaking of Final Fantasy?
No.
Before this? Oh, okay.
I said singing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think how we got onto that.
Yeah, he said that before we...
Oh, yeah, like one...
I thought you said, speaking of Final
I forgot
Fantasy.
to mention it when we weren't talking about games.
You ever heard of a Fall Out Boy karaoke with a live band? It's so cool, dude. It's very magical.
Right.
Gotcha.
No, that's really awesome.
Yeah, and
did you get up there and
sing some Journey? No, there's a huge long list. Like you got to sign up like earlier in the afternoon.
Oh, interesting. Well, I bet that's the reason why. Is because you're like, you're like basically with a band singing the songs.
There's literally people up there and they look like they feel like a rock star. Like everyone's like cheering them on.
That's so
in the
cool,
spotlight.
man. Yeah, that's really cool.
That's really cool. I just thought I should bring that up because it was fun.
I was bummed I couldn't go with you guys last night, but Casey's like, yeah, we need to go back there. I was like, that sounds like a ton of fun.
I've been there 4 times now. It's a fun place.
And this is the first time you went into the basement?
Yeah. Wow. Well, we've been down there before, but there was no one singing.
Okay. So I guess it's only certain nights of the week. And maybe it's Fridays, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
But
I think the last time we went down there, it was like later towards the night, like after 1. So
it was like that late. Wow.
Closing down.
Okay.
So
nice. That's cool.
Well, to answer a question you asked a while ago, no, I have not played Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay, yeah, you kind of dropped it again.
Kind of again, yeah. With 14 now, like if I have any downtime, I'm playing that for sure.
I feel you. I mean, in the very near future, we're going to be getting game after game after game after game again. So
yeah, so that poor MGS5. I'm so sorry.
I got my money's worth in time out of it. I had a ton of enjoyment with it. So
you don't really owe it to yourself to play it.
I know. I know how good it is, and I'm just so.
It's kind of like me with Persona. I just don't have the time.
Yeah. I got you.
So it isn't even a choice for me. I mean, I literally don't have the time. So
yeah,
it happens.
Yeah. Well, guys, we saw Spider-Man: Homecoming.
We did
a couple of days ago.
Spoiler alert! Here we go. But there's a lot to spoil in this movie.
Yeah.
But obviously, we'll give a little spoiler-free impression / review of the film. Got to say, it was really bad.
Yeah.
So no, I absolutely love the movie.
Yeah, I told you earlier, I don't think I really described it to you like this, but initially when I finished the movie, I of course liked it a lot, but as I laid on my bed that night reminiscing on the movie, I decided that I loved it. I didn't have the best theater experience. Guys behind me were complaining the entire time, and Lizzie, bless her heart, she started using this new detergent, and my inner thighs and butt cheeks itch nonstop. Like they're itching at this moment. Right. I'm just not scratching them right now.
Because of the detergent.
I think the pair of underwear I'm wearing right now are still in that batch, obviously, but we got some new detergents, or hopefully that is fixed. But I just itched the entire movie. And I didn't even care who was watching. I was like scratching my nuts and butt like the entire time because it itched so bad. Like it was awful. So anyways, I had to deal with that. The guys behind me were extremely annoying. Like the comments they were making were so dumb. Like Peter Parker is a very inexperienced Spider-Man. No spoilers. And they show him trying to learn to be Spider-Man. And there's one part where he like falls down. And behind me, they were just like, I hate this Spider-Man dude. I'm so sick of him messing up and stuff. And I just wanted to turn around and just be like, y'all need to shut up because you're pissing me off. And he's like 15 years old. So like, come on. So anyway, I was just like hearing that the entire movie. My mother also, bless her heart, was asking me all these questions. And halfway through the movie, I was just like, okay, Mom, you can't talk to me anymore. Like I just have to watch this movie. So it wasn't the best environment to watch the movie, but, and I kind of thought that as I was leaving the theater. I liked it a lot, but like I said, as I was thinking back on these moments throughout the movie, I was just like, oh, that was a really cool moment. That was a cool moment. Yeah. So I'm stoked to see it again, and I'm sure upon seeing it again in a better movie theater environment and stuff, I'm going to come away with a lot more love for the movie than I initially did.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like, I can't even really think of any like faults with the movie. Like it was what I wanted it to be.
Me too.
When I heard it was going to be this younger Peter Parker and stuff, like this is what I wanted it to be. So they knocked it out of the park. I freaking loved it. And
they did, man.
I want to play Insomniac Spider-Man so bad that I cannot even take it thanks to this movie. So,
right. Yeah, I know I'm going to love it even more a second time. Like I said, we had a very peaceful theater experience. We went to a very late showing. We went to the 11:15 showing. So there was our theater wasn't even full. We went in there, so it was awesome. And granted, now the guys to our far left were pretty loud, but I didn't really notice it because I was enjoying the movie so much. I actually have a knack for tuning people out, even if they're extremely annoying. I can tune them out somehow. But poor Casey cannot, man. She loses her mind. Like there's this one theater we go to when we want to save money, where the theater's so small that you can hear everyone eating. I kid you not, it sounds like a petting zoo in this theater. Like it will, if you're not able to tune it out, it literally will sound like a buzz in your ear. There's so much chomping. It
also depends how loud the theater is, too.
Right. That's my pet peeve of if a movie's too quiet in a theater, it drives me insane.
Oh my gosh, dude! There was this. I was dating my ex-girlfriend.
It's like quiet to the point where you can hear people breathing. Essentially,
she lived in the middle of nowhere, and there was this ranky-dank theater, and we went and saw Avengers 2: Age of Ultron, and it was like. The volume was like on 25 out of 100.
Right.
It's like these action set pieces are happening. Like Hulk would punch something and just be like, it was the quietest
no bass
thing
or anything
of all time. It was so just like anticlimactic with all this stuff happening and there's like no sound. So I completely
what a shame.
agree. Yeah,
that's why I always go for movies like this. I always go to our AMC at North Point Mall because it is. There's many AMCs around us, but it's by far the most state-of-the-art, latest one they've come out with. And every time I go, the sound is always perfect. The picture quality is perfect. And more often than not, it's always a respectful crowd versus a theater a few miles down the road. People are insane the whole time. So it's like when we saw, what's that movie with the people who invade that guy's house? Don't Breathe. Although I loved that movie, it was like one of the craziest crowds I've ever sat through a movie with, which in retrospect, it kind of worked because it's a much smaller movie and it was a horror/thriller movie. So I kind of liked the crazy crowd. And the same thing when I saw Get Out, it was like, again, one of the craziest crowds I've ever been with, like people laughing and cheering and screaming at everything. But it made the movie so much more enjoyable because of that. But movies like this, and I'm not saying all superhero movies, but I really, really, really want to catch every detail possible. And if you have an obnoxious crowd, obviously you're going to overlook a lot of things. And I'm sure there's even a handful of little tiny things I overlooked in this movie. But it was just the amalgamation of all the little moments and scenes in this movie. That's my favorite aspect of the movie, is not only literally, but story-wise as well, just how small everything is. It literally just feels like a tiny little story in Spider-Man's life as he's kind of getting through his first years of being Spider-Man. And I wish you had tread lightly because obviously there's a lot to spoil. But I won't talk about any specific moments because all of them, whether they be comedic, serious, or funny, whatever they may be, there's so many little moments that are worth just experiencing without having them spoiled.
It was surprisingly funny.
It was,
more like 90% of the jokes,
and so relatable too, especially if you've been through high school. Like just all these memories of being in high school and how similar it is. Obviously, none of us had superpowers, but just having like your best friend and like I don't know, it was just cool.
I wasn't really thinking about it at the time, but you're right. It is a really funny movie.
Yeah,
like I wasn't expecting that going in.
His friend Ned is really funny.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and it's so funny too. It totally reminds me of when we were in high school and Zach went through his fedora phase. And Zach literally had a collection of fedoras. It reminded me when Ned's like, I wear this hat, it gives me confidence. And I love that part too where he talks to Peter. He's like, the hat's not working, I don't know what the problem is. It's so funny. But I just loved the cross between. I'm not going to pretend I'm like an expert on the character, but I know enough to realize that Peter Parker's always had that struggle of like, I either have to choose to be Peter Parker or Spider-Man. I love those moments in the movie where he has to make that hard decision. And that's so relatable too in real life. Even if you're not a superhero, there comes times in life like, am I going to hang out with my friends or am I going to do what needs to be done in type situation? That doesn't happen every day in my life, but I've certainly had those moments where like I need to make this really tough decision that's exact same scenario, just I'm not a superhero. So in that sense, it's totally relatable. And I love with the exception of the field trip they take in the movie, just the fact that it's confined to his neighborhood the whole movie. I love that so much. But we won't talk about it too much more because there's so much to spoil. But overall, loved it. I cannad wait to see it again.
Indeed. Michael Keaton was a very good Vulture.
He was. Great villain for sure.
All the side dudes and stuff, all of them were good. Like,
I enjoyed
really
them.
All of them were good. I can't think of one I really didn't like.
Right.
I liked him. Was it Michelle?
I really liked Michelle in the movie.
Zendaya.
She's a cool character. Yeah,
she was cool.
I even liked how all of his friends were all in the science club together.
I love their take on Flash.
Yeah,
He's
great. Very original too.
Yeah, he was like a bully, but like not the classic like, I'll throw you in a locker bully.
He's like a nerdy bully.
Yeah, just how kind of it is now.
In that sense, it definitely felt very modern, which I liked a lot. But
yeah. And
Aunt
Bay.
Aunt Bay, yeah. Great Aunt May, too. Easily my favorite Aunt May. She's cool. Yeah,
the scene where there's a scene, I'm not going to spoil, where her and Peter are having dinner, and I thought it was really funny.
It was.
So just their conversation was really good.
Yeah, dude, just thinking about it now, I cannot freaking wait to see it again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like the more moments, like as I was laying there that night, I was just going over the entire movie, and I was like, why didn't I walk out of this theater like freaking stoked? Because everything I saw was freaking amazing.
Right.
Just my itchy ball sack kept me from enjoying it. So
that damn detergent.
Yeah.
Curse you.
Yeah, but it was awesome. I cannot wait to see it again.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
You have any more thoughts about the movie specifically, Jacob?
No. Okay. I like the movie. I don't know if I'll see it again, but it's...
Oh, man. I'm probably going to see it a few more times. I saw The Amazing Spider-Man 1 6 times in theaters.
Yeah, I think I'm going to see this at least 2 or 3 more times, for sure.
The only movies I've ever rewatched in theaters are Star Wars movies or Harry Potter.
Of course, I'll see Last Jedi at least 5 or 6 times when it comes out. So
I saw The Force Awakens, I think 3 times.
I saw it 6 times.
Holy
There's
crap.
some times where I get so hyped on a movie that if I'm not in the movie watching it again, I feel like I'm missing out on something.
You already know what happens.
Even though I've seen it. Yeah, it's almost like this weird feeling I have, like I want to experience the movie with people who have not yet experienced it. That's like how quick. I don't know why. I just love.
I like to take people who haven't seen it.
Right.
I'm like looking out of the corner of my eye like.
That's why when I saw Force Awakens, I think I saw it the very next day because I wanted to be in a theater where I knew people hadn't seen it yet. Just to like sort of like, it's just a weird mental thing. Like maybe I'll like kind of take some sort of feeling they're having like before I've seen it. I'm kind of re-experiencing it. So it's awesome. But I cannot wait to go back and see. I almost saw it again yesterday by myself in between classes, but I had to make the mature decision because I think I had at the time, until I get paid again, I had like $60 to my name. I was like, I'm going to have to spend half of this on gas just to get home. I was like, I probably shouldn't spend $20 on a movie ticket.
I would love to go see this movie by myself and just like an empty theater.
Yeah, so that's what was so attractive about that opportunity. I had just the right amount of time to go do it, but I just didn't have the money. I was like, dang it, so I played Zelda instead. Nice. But yeah, I'm pumped to see it again.
Yeah.
But speaking of Spider-Man, we have an excellent, rather exciting question from Mr. Andreas on Discord. He says,
I do want to show you. It's 3.
It is, yeah. Okay. We'll kind of just blaze over the news stories. There's not that much anyway.
Cool.
But Andreas says, pitch the story for the new Spider-Man game. Now, we already know that he's been Spider-Man for 8 years, so all that Uncle Ben stuff will be long over with. Guys, you can pitch it, of course. We could pitch it, but more so, what do you really want to see in the story of this game? Like, obviously, my favorite aspect is the fact that it's totally different from the movie now. The fact that he's a weathered, experienced Spider-Man. He's well into his career being Spider-Man. I've heard rumors that he's married to Mary Jane and he has a child, but that could be false. I've heard rumors about that. I don't know if that's true, but who do you think the primary villain's going to be in the game?
The guy in the demo, right?
No,
I think like Mr. Negative, for example, is in the demo. I imagine that there's going to be a string of villains that are all sort of connected to each other that lead to the main villain. But of course, I want very small side villains, very much like Arkham City, not Arkham Knight, because I think Arkham Knight, although I love that game, one of its weakest aspects and huge disappointment for me is that the side characters, not side characters, but all the side missions with the side villains were some of the most generic, boring missions ever, just over and over and over again. I would love a situation where you're Spider-Man. Obviously, you can free roam.
What are you talking about, dude? The Pyro guy was like the best side
Firefly?
mission. Firefly is the best side missions ever.
Dude, so sick, man. I love chasing him in the Batmobile and shooting him with rockets over and over.
Like 6 times.
Yeah, literally. How many rockets is this going to take? And just all in one night is the funniest part. It's like, oh, he popped up again. We're going to shoot him with more rockets. And finally, after the 400th rocket, he just happens to go down. Yeah. My goodness, how stupid. But, I would love to be free roaming around the city and you get hints of like, oh, Shocker or Scorpion is running around this part of the city. And I'd love it to be more than just... I think Insomniac has to know this because not only have they probably been influenced by the success of the Arkham games, but hopefully they've analyzed what works for those games like Arkham City versus Arkham Knight. And they know like, hey, if we're going to have a side villain, they have to have some sort of small storyline, even if it's only like a handful of missions, kind of like the Mr. Freeze situation in Arkham City where I think that whole side experience is at least a couple of hours to complete. So I at least want that amount for the side characters in addition to the main villains. But I'm going to predict that we haven't seen well, it's tricky to to predict because we've seen Goblin in the Raimi movies. We've seen Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man. So I don't know if they're going to jump into Goblin again. Like, we're going to really make Goblin right in this video game. But I get the feeling...
Could you see like someone like Venom or something being behind everything?
Maybe.
I can't see.
I'm not huge on like all the Spider-Man villains. I don't know who like has like...
I wouldn't be surprised if Mysterio had a heavy presence in this game. A lot of people have been asking for Mysterio for a while, but I'm going to predict that Harry Osborn is going to play a major role in the game. I'm going to predict that Green Goblin has already been dealt with in this world.
Really?
And who was running for mayor? Was it Harry or Norman?
It says just Osborn for mayor, but I'm going to predict that it's Harry, because especially considering how old Peter is now, Harry's probably of the age to be running for mayor.
He's probably the same age as Peter.
Right, but I think they said Peter's 23, so maybe he's too young to run for mayor. So maybe it will be Norman.
It's got to be Norman.
So that means 8 years. That'd
be interesting if he was the mayor, but also the Green Goblin.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to Green Goblin at all, but I don't know if I want to predict Goblin as the main villain. I do think Mysterio is going to have a heavy presence.
So we know it's Mr. Negative and Kingpin.
Right.
Like those are the only two confirmed. A lot of people say that Rhino was in the initial trailer. I don't think it was. I think it was just a big dude wearing a mask.
Right. I think they actually confirmed that too. That was people were speculating.
Do you think there's a chance that Venom isn't even in this game?
Yeah,
I think there's a chance. It's
I would be disappointed.
It's weird because I can't.
If he was or wasn't.
If he wasn't in the game,
I think it's almost weird. I don't know why I feel this way. It almost seems like it'd be weird if Venom was in it. I don't know why. I'm a huge
Venom fan.
I want Venom. Don't get me wrong, but I almost feel like they'd be kind of strange.
That seems like something to do in like a sequel.
I don't. Yeah.
What if they did like a DLC with him in it?
Oh well, I'd be pissed off. If Venom's in the game, I want Venom to be in the game.
What if it's like a huge fleshed out like story DLC though?
No, I think Venom's too big for DLC.
Okay,
way too big. This DLC, I could see like Shocker or something.
I mean, we know they're including Miles Morales in this game, so people are still speculating.
To what degree?
Is he going to be set up for a sequel? Is he actually going to play a pivotal role in the story? I don't know if that's just maybe it's just literally the only Easter egg for Miles Morales is that one part in that.
I mean, they said he's going to have a presence in this game.
Okay, so. That's tough to predict too. What is he going to do? I don't know.
Yeah,
is he going to become Spider-Man as well in this story?
What if this is the death of Spider-Man? This game.
How crazy would that? That'd be ballsy, man.
Miles.
The next game
that'd
starts out with Miles, the new suit or something.
Like, I don't know anything about Miles.
Right. I know a little bit. I know like he has a few additional abilities to Spider-Man. I know that. Okay. Obviously, his suit looks really awesome, the red and the black. But
I don't know, just the thought of Peter dying and like somebody else taking their place. I don't like that. But then again, I don't know Miles, so maybe that's why I don't like that.
Not my Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like when I think of Spider-Man, it's just Peter Parker. That's it. And I don't know. That kind of bumped me out if he died. I don't know if I can see them doing that.
I don't know.
So.
As far as villains are concerned, I think we will see a Goblin, if not Green Goblin. Maybe we'll see Hobgoblin.
What's the difference?
Hobgoblin, I think traditionally has always been Harry, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's a different guy.
Did they? I know that he like stole tech from the Green Goblin.
Right. I can't remember this.
Which one?
I know there's different versions. Green Goblin.
I know people were saying the character in the Homecoming movie, Ned, whatever the name is a Hobgoblin in the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
People are speculating.
I'm not an expert on the lore of Spider-Man, so
that stuff. No.
But
I'm like the most mainstream Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, me too. So. I think we'll for sure see Mysterio. Maybe we'll see Venom.
I don't really like Mysterio that much.
I think he could be cool.
He just kind of looks dumb to me. Every time I've ever seen him, he just looks dumb. I think he has a fishbowl on his head.
I think they can make him cool, though, because we have that idea of what, like Vulture, for example. You have that idea in your brain before Michael Keaton's Vulture of what Vulture looks like, and like he looks like an idiot. But
isn't Mysterio kind of like Scarecrow, where he like
sort of? Yeah, he's an illusionist or a magician or something.
I could see. I mean, Arkham did that extremely well with Scarecrow, so I could kind of see something like that with Spider-Man.
Right.
I remember him in Spider-Man 2. Some pretty cool missions going on with him. I don't know. I just think he looks goofy.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, sure, but I mean, look how cool Spider-Man looks. They're bound to make whoever they put in the game look really cool. Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, that's a dumb reason, and I want somebody in there.
Right.
But I would like just what I know about Mysterio. I'm just not really like interested in him. I'm sure whoever they put in the game is going to be really cool. But I would like to see Green Goblin, but I don't know if that's just been done too much. I would kind of like to see somebody that I don't really know about, but then again, I want to see
Mr. Negative, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he looks cool, but like if I saw Green Goblin or something, I'll be you're like, oh man, that's really cool because I know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
So
I read that Mr. Negative, when he touches someone, it brings out their worst qualities in them or something, which is interesting.
That's cool.
And he grabs Spider-Man at the end of that demo.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
They say that some origin stories, some villains might be different. What if Mr. Negative touches somebody and that's the origin story of another villain?
Yeah, what if he touches Spider-Man and then he like creates Venom?
Spider-Man is the
creates Venom.
Yeah, he's bringing out the worst in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man becomes a bad guy.
But,
Miles Morales has to stop him. Spider-Man is the main villain.
Somehow he
Can
creates
you
this
imagine
virus.
how crazy that would be? Holy crap, that'd be insane. But they've already said that Peter Parker has a heavy presence in the game too.
Yeah.
So, before we move on, do you have any predictions about what role Peter's going to play outside of just, I'm a photographer, or I'm a potentially a husband to Mary Jane and I have a daughter? Like, what do you think? You think there will be dialogue options and stuff? Or do you think it'll strictly be just scripted all the way through?
I don't really think there needs to be dialogue options because I don't think this is the type of, if there's dialogue options, I want it to mean something. I want there to be repercussions and stuff. And this doesn't
I could see Telltale doing a pretty decent Spider-Man game.
Yeah. I mean, like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 had dialogue trees and stuff.
Did it? I don't remember that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you an example. Uncharted 4 has dialogue options and stuff. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't mean anything. So I really don't see a point in them if they don't actually do something. And I can't see this game having
multiple endings.
Yeah, well, it's different things happening based on things you say. So I don't really see a need for it. But playing as Peter, I mean, he's not working for the Daily Bugle. He's a scientist. So I don't see you like taking pictures or anything. I don't know. I have no clue what you would do as Peter Parker. What if it's like Grand Theft Auto running around as Peter? You can go in an alleyway, change into your suit.
I've always wanted a superhero game where I'm playing as their secret identity or whoever, Peter Parker, for example, and there's a crime happening. You literally have to like run into an alley and change into your suit and take off. How cool would that be?
The main thing I want to see in this game right now is I want to see what happens when you run like on the street. What do people do? Because I'm
as
Spider-Man, I'm always disappointed. Because
Spider-Man.
It's like they don't care, or it's just like they're going on with their lives and stuff. Like,
I'm sure
that's got to be a challenging thing to figure out as a developer. Like, what do we do?
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know.
Because I mean, you're playing as a superhero. I mean, Spider-Man would never just like run on the street, but it being an open world game, they have to allow you to do that. So like,
wouldn't it be cool? Like at first, like everyone loves Spider-Man, and it's just like, oh, it's Spider-Man, yay! And then like as the game goes on, like narratively, like maybe Spider-Man's cast or like projected to be as like someone that's doing bad things by just some scheme that someone's planning. Then like the public changes their opinion on
that. Was kind of in Amazing Spider-Man 2 with the menace system. If it like went down, I think they would react to you differently. I don't know. I never would.
Be cool to see like the public opinion sway.
I mean, it's not even that big of a deal. I'll just be interested to see how Insomniac tackles that. I'm not gonna be walking. Why would you like run on the street and stuff as Spider-Man?
I know.
Like,
I mean, when you can web sling.
Yeah,
but there's gonna be. I mean, I do the same thing. You at least want to see what happens.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just interested to see that. I just want to play this game right now. Was it Amazing
Spider-Man 2's game or one of the games where you could take selfies with people?
I think that was 2.
Okay, because I remember people would be like, "Dude, can I get a quick picture and stuff?"
Yeah.
Unless I'm just imagining that.
No, I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah. What about Doc Ock?
I think he's going to be in it for sure.
I would love to see him.
Yeah, I think he's no doubt going to be in it.
I would love to see him in the MCU.
As would I.
Yeah.
I would definitely love to see that.
I would love to see another.
It's challenging because he was so good in Raimi's Spider-Man 2 that you got to do something different with him for sure. So, no, I would love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I love that movie so much. I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it again. And the first thing I thought of coming out of theaters was that's a really good game and that was a really great movie and I have to have that game right now.
I knew it was going to kill me before I even saw the movie. I'm going to want to play that game.
I wanted something Spider-Man, and it's like the only thing on PS4 is Amazing Spider-Man 2. And
that's why I'm so desperate for a remaster of Ultimate or Spider-Man 2. I know it's difficult with Spider-Man 2 because it was like a movie license game, but Ultimate Spider-Man, I'd have to do my research, but I would do anything to play a remaster of one of those games. I know it's like bound to never happen.
Yeah.
I wish someone was thinking about the hype of Spider-Man Homecoming, but like one of us needs to take the initiative of remastering one of these games for the release of the movie just because we know people are going to want to play it. Or just if
Insomniac could have
hash something out real quick.
Yeah.
Here's a quick demo.
Just put it out.
Yeah.
I would be fine with just a demo.
Just take the Andromeda approach, release an unfinished game, and then fix it for the next year and a half.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Sony gave you guys that VR experience. Is that not enough?
Dude,
I can't say anything. Was it enough for you?
An hour or 2 long. If it was an hour or two longer, I might have liked it more.
I'm gonna keep dreaming for that VR Spider-Man experience where you literally have to shoot webs and swing through a city. Because like I said, I know it's possible because I've experienced a game that does everything but web slinging, so I know it's possible.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah, it would. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make an effort. I'm gonna email them this week and tell them it doesn't have to be Spider-Man. Just take what you have and add some web slinging for fun and just see what happens. Because I would love to try something like that.
Yeah, be cool.
But yeah, since we're running very short on time due to my work schedule this week, we're gonna blaze through the news. Thankfully, hardly anything happened this week, but we'll get through that. And we have a few extra community questions this week since there wasn't as much to talk about. Before we do so, Preston, you want to officially bring us in?
I just remembered I haven't done that. This is the ItsObviousGaming podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, you can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. If YouTube isn't good for you or you'd like to take us on the go, you can find this podcast weekly on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Audio Boom, and other podcasting services. Please check the description down below for time codes if you want to get straight to the video game discussion, our PSN community, Discord channel, and other means to connect with us. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to like and comment down below to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out. I'm trying to come up with another adjective. What's another good word for helping us
Greatly.
out? Greatly.
Will benefit us?
Sure.
I don't really like benefit.
I wanted a really long, fancy word.
Will remedy us? That's cure. Will aid us.
Sure. It'll aid us.
It will aids us.
And we would forever be thankful. Thank you.
Yes.
With all that out of the way, hey man, what's the news?
Dude. Hey, Doomfist is live on the PTR. Jacob, I want to hear from you. What are your impressions of this character?
It's badass.
Is it everything you hoped he would be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Besides Terry Crews not voicing him.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising to me. I was like, I think all of us for sure thought.
I thought it was going to be him because he went to Blizzard and he met with them.
Right.
I wonder what they talked about.
I mean, he's got to be doing something with them.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe they're like, F off.
I know he's like a really big fan of the game, so maybe just took a tour or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I was expecting Doomfist to be more of a comedic. I knew he'd probably be a villain, but I was expecting to be sort of like a comedic relief type villain.
Yeah.
But
doesn't seem to be the case.
No, yeah, he seems to be quite a vicious villain.
Did you watch the animated short?
I did. It was cool.
How amazing was that?
It was awesome.
Like
I like the 2D
episode.
approach to it. Yeah, I mean, I love the 3D stuff as well, but it's definitely a new way to see Overwatch in action.
Yeah, like wouldn't it be cool to have like a style of that video like on Netflix or something as a series?
Oh man, that's the dream.
My gosh,
it's the dream.
You got to think that they got to be working on something like that,
right? So let's go talk about his abilities real quick.
It's really cool.
So he has the hand cannon. Projectile
literally
based,
a hand cannon,
which is cool. It kind of shoots out of his knuckles.
Yeah.
I watched Finner do like his impressions of the
I watched
character and stuff.
Too.
So obviously we haven't played him yet. We're not on PC, but I think that's pretty cool. And his seismic slam, I think that's a really cool ability when you leap up and can see the area of effect where you're going to land and slam down on someone.
You talking about his ultimate or just
no? I think his ultimate is called Meteor Strike.
Right.
When he goes up and comes straight down and affects that one area. But I love how Finner was describing it, where it's similar to like a Street Fighter fighting game approach where you're supposed to kind of chain his abilities together. Like you can uppercut someone and then do seismic slam and then slam them back down.
And you can also, what's this charging punch?
Yeah, ability? The rocket punch.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And if you hit someone into a wall, it does more damage.
Right. It reminds me a lot of Reinhardt in a sense where he's purely, with the exception of his hand cannon, purely melee based, and his rocket punch is very similar to Reinhardt's charge, but I love how you just literally throw your fist out and charge forward.
Can you imagine just a Doomfist charging in with like a Zarya bubble on him?
Oh man,
wrecking mayhem on everyone.
And imagine like an Ana boost too on him.
Yeah,
it'd be so terrifying, dude. Because I'm already scared enough as Reinhardt when he's Ana boosted, but Doomfist, man,
I can't wait to play him.
Yeah, I'm so excited because he's just so. I mean, you can argue that he's similar to Reinhardt in a sense where he's melee based and everything, but just the look at the character too is just really unique, and I can't wait to try him out.
Purely combo based.
He seems like he'd be kind of difficult to be good with.
Yeah, but his hand cannon gun actually does a lot of damage.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
especially up close. I'd imagine it's sort of like a shotgun blast. So, no, I can't wait to try him out. And that's exciting that we officially have seen him in action after all this anticipation. So,
indeed.
And he's an attacker, right?
Yes. He's a offense. There's now 7 or 8, I think.
So going forward, just very shortly, what do you think we would probably get next? We've gotten a support
We've got to get a defense. You think?
You think so?
We haven't had one yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you can do a million different things with a defense character. So.
I'm sure they have something they're working on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember we read like a few months ago they had a few characters that they've been testing out, and obviously they create a lot of characters that don't work out. So whether or not those ones they were talking about earlier are still in development, I don't know.
I assume they'll release one more character this year.
Okay. How many more characters do you think they can add before it gets to a point where like we kind of need to cap it?
I'm not sure.
Because there's got to come a point where you can't keep making characters.
Yeah, you would think.
So,
I mean, Doomfist is certainly a
but at least think about it this way. Even though it's always the most exciting part of Overwatch is getting new characters, it's still cool to think that they could forever put out new maps and modes.
Sure.
And the community around it is so strong and unique that like meta games would be like created within it in a way. So
the Overwatch League is just getting started up right now. So this is only the beginning for as far as the esports go of that.
Very exciting. But yeah, I think Doomfist looks really cool, and I'm excited to give him a shot when he comes around the consoles, whenever that is. Yeah. So it's fun. But we also saw a lot of IGN first for Destiny 2 this past week. You saw the new social space, and I saw a video about Bungie's vision for the game. Mm-hmm. Did you check out all this?
I did.
What are your thoughts?
The video about the farm was cool. The new
you like that space?
It's fine. Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't excite me a whole lot.
I like how the piece of the travelers in the distance.
That's my favorite aspect of it.
Is this the only social space?
I don't know. I assume it's the only one on the European.
I feel like there should be one on every planet.
There could be.
That's like this big. Especially after playing 14, where every like region has like a massive social area. Like Destiny needs to do that too.
I will say I like the idea that we had this prestigious tower we all hung out in, and now we've not only been attacked and lost it, but we've truly downgraded to where we are literally residing on a farm now, which I think is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But what does it remind me of? It reminds me of some movie where they have like this awesome hideout or fortress and they lose it and they have to like go back to having nothing. I can't remember what movie. I mean, many movies have done that, but it's something I've seen recently.
Planet of the Apes.
I don't know. But,
that new one's supposed to be good.
Oh, I'm so excited to see it. It has great reviews. Yeah, there's actually, it's funny because there's one reviewer I keep up with who is the only negative review I've heard. Mm-hmm. And she typically reviews everything very positively, at least things that I like. And she's very in line with a lot of all the reviewers I keep up with typically have a similar response to movies. And hers was the only one in a long time that was drastically different from the others. And I was surprised. She's like, the second half of the movie is awful. I was like, well, that sucks because everyone else says it's great. So
sorry, I got off.
Who do I believe?
It's okay. But now I'm excited to see it. Yeah.
They said that they're trying to create more things to do in the social spaces.
I saw you could play soccer or something.
Yeah, there's like a soccer
I didn't even watch the whole video. I got to be honest. I was so bored watching it that I just did something else.
I don't really care about that.
Me neither. Okay. Yeah. I liked the vision video for Destiny 2 because I liked when they showed that map where there's all these different things to go do.
Yeah.
Very felt it, and even if it's quote unquote not bigger, it makes it seem bigger. It's like, look at all the objectives we can go to and complete at our own will. We don't even have to do all of them, but it's cool to see it all laid out on a map like that.
I know they're upping the amount of people that can be at the farm at once.
Okay.
So it's going to feel a little more alive, kind of like an MMO would in like a major city. Obviously, I think it's only 26 is the max or something. So.
Is there loading into this, or can you just go?
I'm pretty sure there's loading. At least from what I've seen. Now I know you can jump right to new. Can't you jump from the social space to different planets and not have to go to orbit? Correct.
From your
but I still think you see your ship fly up over the planet and like
because it did
Guardian the something you need to go kill it and you fly in. I think it still does
and
that.
It showed people like coming into the farm from a ship. So,
dude, the beta starts really soon. Yeah, I didn't realize how soon it was.
It's not next week, but the one after. Or it's not this week, but the one after.
If you pre-order it, you get the beta early.
I think it's the 18th on PS4. It starts.
When's the 18th?
That's a Wednesday. 2 weeks from now.
It's Wednesday. Okay, I haven't pre-ordered yet, so I might as well just pre-order it so I can get that.
I loaded my codes. I think we're supposed to get emails. Is that right?
Yeah. We have to. You get a code to do it.
Yeah, it's through Bungie.
You have to do it through Bungie's website. Which
I need to do that.
I always prefer.
Where'd you pre-order?
PlayStation, GameStop.
You too. I'm assuming on Amazon.
Get this guy.
Well, I don't know if you do anymore. I don't know if they have any left.
The Cade 6 guy.
They're probably out. I'm actually going to go by GameStop on the way home today.
What were you going to get?
I was going to trade in my 2DS.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You get like pretty decent money for it. It's like $45 or $50.
Right.
I have a coupon and they give you like 15 extra bucks for trading it in. So
nice.
There you go.
Yeah. I was going to get like Nier Automata.
Ooh.
Anyways, off track again.
That's okay.
But, Destiny 2. I'm excited to try the beta.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Unfortunately, it's just like what we've seen. Like I guess it's not really unfortunate.
The reveal and stuff.
Yeah,
like it's that one strike with those grinders. Right. The opening.
They're adding a control game type in Crucible though, so it'll be cool to play control
in the beta.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is it this?
Yeah,
everything we've seen.
It's the opening story mission, the strike we've seen it, the reveal and E3, and one Crucible mode. Correct.
Two Crucible control, modes? And then there's the new countdown mode.
Okay, cool.
Is there any patrol?
I don't think so.
They said they were opening up the farm for like a couple hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? See, I kind of like it because they're holding everything back, so we don't. Like,
I appreciate that. I think that's plenty.
In Destiny 1's beta, you saw like the whole Earth campaign.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of sucked.
It makes sense that they're including.
You got to explore Earth,
right? Yeah.
Up until a point where the enemies are too high leveled. I kind of like that.
They had some areas cut off too in the beta. I know you couldn't go everywhere on Earth.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad that they're not.
I haven't seen the strike. I haven't seen anything from the strike. The
strike's cool.
The only thing I've seen is the mission because you had to watch the whole thing at the Sony presser. So,
right.
Yeah.
So I'll just skip over the ZeniMax thing, but we thought it was funny that the artist or the vocalist or whoever it is behind his name's Dion DiMucci, behind the Wanderer song in Fallout 4 is officially filing a lawsuit against ZeniMax as he doesn't like the way his song was used in Fallout 4. Which is funny.
He should be called Demucher.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Money.
It's funny because that was one of my favorite songs in the game, and I'm surely ton of people downloaded that song after hearing it in the game.
I'm trying to remember what this song is in Fallout.
I'm a wanderer, blah 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 blah. That song. Those are the actual lyrics. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, gosh.
Guys, I still have the urge, I swear, every week to go back and play Fallout 4.
I don't blame you. I love that game.
I love it.
Me too.
So fun.
I didn't even play the most recent DLC where it's kind of like
I haven't beaten it yet. And when I think that, I have to play this.
What is what's the app called again? Fallout Shelter? It's kind of like Fallout Shelter's features are brought into the game. I really wanted to try that. So
did you end up finishing that Nuka World DLC?
Oh, I didn't. I forgot about that.
I remember. I still have a lot to do.
I have a ton in that. Yeah. There will come a time, I guarantee you, when I dabble in that again. No doubt. I mean, I went back to Fallout 3 for years until we got PS4 and Xbox One. So yeah, but we are, like I said, limited.
No, we can't like Bethesda, dude. They suck now. Yeah,
you're right, man.
Everything Bethesda does now sucks. So.
Right. But like I said, we are limited on time, so we're going to jump into community questions. We may or may not get to all of them, but regardless, we will get to them in the coming weeks because we got plenty of them. We can't thank you guys enough for doing so. But if you wanted your question read on the show, you can always reach out to us in one of three places. You can email us at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at obvious_gaming, or you can submit a question to the Ask IOG section on our Discord channel. And if you want to just talk, by all means, just send us messages. We'd be happy to chat with you guys. But if you want your question read on this show or Ask IOG, which is our other podcast we're doing, where it's more community-based, where it's purely based off community questions, always include the hashtag AskIOG, and we'll know to answer your question on one of two shows. So, again, thank you to all of you who sent us questions the past few weeks. As I said, don't worry about your questions that have been sitting idle for months at this point. We are going to get to them when we catch up on AskIOG very soon. Well, the first one comes from Lee Taylor. He says, I notice you guys talk a lot about Zelda. I've never played any of them. If I was to start, which, in your opinion, would you say is the best? I'm going to leave this up to you, Preston. Me, personally, I'm going to go ahead and say I think you might as well just start with Breath of the Wild
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, if you're going to start right now, just Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to, I don't know anything about Zelda, but I'm still getting a lot out of the newest one, you know? It's not like you need to know the whole history of the franchise.
Yeah. I mean, I'll use my uncle, for instance. Never liked Zelda. He actually used to poke fun at me for playing Zelda. He's like, yeah, go play your elf game. And stuff. So he actually got Breath of the Wild and he was like, holy crap, I love this game to death. And he's now playing through Ocarina of Time. Majora's Mask is next up. He's been looking at like Twilight Princess and stuff. So Breath of the Wild kind of just introduced him to this universe. And granted, like, these previous games don't play like this, but it has the same charm of like, you know, of The Legend of Zelda. So, but yeah, just because it's the newest one and it's probably the Zelda games preceding this one are going to be more like this one, you might as well just start with this one. And if you like this one and have, you know, an interest in it, I definitely recommend go back and play Ocarina of Time if you can, just because for as old as that game is, it still holds up to the day. And it's one of my favorite games.
You can play it on a lot of things now, right?
I mean, 3DS, it's on the Virtual Console on Wii and Wii U. I mean, hopefully once Switch gets a Virtual Console and, if they Lord willing, if GameCube gets on there and you have access to the entire Zelda library for the most part, then just go all in.
Don't forget,
man.
we're getting the new multiplayer app where we can chat with our friends now.
You're right.
That's not on the console,
dude. So innovative.
But as of now, I'd probably say Breath of the Wild.
Totally, I agree.
Have you seen the dinky headset that they sell for the Switch? It's a piece of crap.
Does it just plug into your phone?
I think so.
Wow.
Could you just use like a pair of iPhone earbuds that has the mic built in?
Why wouldn't you?
Sure. Yeah.
Might as well just use that.
I'm just saying they're selling a dinky headset.
Yeah, it's funny. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, Breath of the Wild would be a good starting point, I'd say.
Yeah.
Next one comes from Bojangles, Mr. Kyle. Ooh. He says, "Hey guys, if you managed to bring one character from any medium to life, who would you choose to work out with? Who would you choose as a drinking buddy?" Also, he says he loves the content, says to stay sexy. Kyle, thank you, and
will do.
Jacob especially needs to stay sexy. He's the only sex appeal on this podcast, so thank you for making that sacrifice every day in the gym.
I disagree. Yeah, you guys bring a lot to the table.
Yeah, Jacob, that's really rude to me. Because you're saying I'm not sexy.
That's the thing. Jacob's so sexy that we're just overshadowed by him.
I'm the only married one here, guys. So
he must be doing something
more sex appeal. Yeah,
totally. But who would you guys choose as a workout buddy?
Can I go first?
Yeah.
If I could only pick one person for both, it would be probably Geralt.
You'd work out with Geralt?
I think Geralt.
That's the thing about Geralt. I feel like I don't think he even really needs to work out because he's enhanced through his experimentation.
I guess he wouldn't work out with me.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to work out.
He is excellent at cardio, though. He can literally run
forever
for miles without stopping.
It'd be fun to drink with him, I think.
Dude, if I could get one person to hit the gym with me, getting gains, Kratos.
Oh, dude,
I want to be hitting the bench press with him yelling in my face, dude. Yes.
Mortal.
Drinking buddy, I'd have to, pretty generic answer, but I'd like to probably have a drink with Nathan Drake.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'd work out with.
I think Kratos is a go-to. It's funny, I had a similar situation to that in my freshman year of high school. I had a weight training class in my first period of the day. Mostly with juniors and seniors. I mean, I was traditionally bullied in that class. I mean, literally, like what you'd see in a movie is how I was bullied in that class. I mean, there were seniors that would come up to my buddies and I and just pop us in the nuts and run off just for fun. And then there was a couple mornings where one senior would just run up to a freshman and shove him to the ground as hard as physically possible and just laugh at him and walk away. I mean, it was literally like something out of a movie. So we had to team up with this one group of seniors who were able to, I think with this one guy, and this may not be a lot to some people, but to me, obviously, it's insane. His max was like 325 on a bench press or something. It was ridiculous. And he had like 2 or 3 45s on each side, however much that is. Jacob knows you can lift 2 45s on each side, can't you? Yeah, clearly. But I, at the time, I mean, I don't know how much I can do now, but at the time as a freshman, I was even skinnier than I am now, of course. And I could barely lift a bar with 2 25-pound weights on either side, which is so little. But as a freshman, that was the heaviest thing in the world. And it was going to be my max. It was like our max day. And I remember just trying to do one rep and coming back up. I was like shaking so violently and I couldn't get it up. He's like, doing it right. Go! The senior literally screaming in my face, spotting me. Just go! Come on! Don't give up! I'm just like, ah! Just the tiniest little weight. And put it back on the thing. It was very inspirational.
Although this is a scary feeling at the gym, like when you're pushing that weight and your arms are shaking, like that's a scary feeling because you don't know if you're going to get it up or not, especially if no one's spotting you.
Right.
But it's also very satisfying too, I feel like once you complete that rep, you're like, damn, that was a good rep.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw a guy at gym class almost kill himself doing a squat one time. He was in jeans and was doing the squat that was clearly over what he could actually do. And
just like back
his
bent.
knees just buckled, and there was a bar there that it would fall on. If that wasn't there, oh my god, he would have been.
I saw some hilarious video on Facebook, I think, recently, where a guy has so much weight on, then he just falls forward. And he, like, smacks his head into the camera or something.
Yeah, I almost gave myself a hernia squatting in freshman year because me and Zach Rivera got in this mini competition to see who could squat the most. And Zach was a soccer player, so clearly he could squat more than me. But I got to a point where I was squatting a decent amount for at least my size. And I almost gave myself a hernia. I think I strained something really bad in my groin, so I had to go get an ultrasound. And I remember the woman's like, all right, if you have a hernia, there's one of two hernias you could have. And I'll never forget how disturbing this sounded. She's like, either you'll have the protrusion in your groin where you'll kind of see it sticking out, or your intestines can literally drop into your nutsack. And I nearly threw up on the spot when she said that. I was like, how will I know if that's happened? She's like, trust me, you'll know. I was like, all right, I don't think that's happened. But I remember it was the funniest thing is I had to like cover up part of my crotch, and she's like, all right, I'm going to ultrasound your nutsack now. And I had to like sit there and she had to like slime up my balls and like the ultrasound. I won't lie, it was kind of pleasant. Yeah. But just sitting there very quietly, she's just like sliming up my nutsack with this ultrasound machine, and it was very, very awkward. I didn't have a hernia, thankfully. I just had a very bad pulled muscle in my groin. But
again, my uncle had a protruding hernia.
Oh gosh, it freaks me out
from him lifting up dogs and stuff onto this table that they had to like look him over.
Is it surgery to fix that?
Yeah. Oh, he was out for a while.
That's not somewhere you want surgery.
No, dude. No freaking way. Imagine your intestines dropping into your ball sack. That's the most horrific thing I could ever think. Thunder strikes when I say that. It's the most horrific thing I could ever imagine.
It was like kind of on his waistline, kind of like.
Why is it always raining profusely when I leave?
Dude, it is raining
a ton.
So much recently.
I love
the last 3 weeks.
It keeps it cooler.
It's not even sprinkling. It's like I had to pull over the other day going home because it was so bad.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not too bad. Driving my car in the rain is just not even worth it. I hate it so bad.
Slide a lot?
Since this is rear wheel drive, if I take a turn too hard, I'm freaking gone. I remember one time, I don't know if you remember, but we kind of took a pretty crazy turn when it was raining going to work one day, just pulling right out of Hendrix.
Oh yeah,
it was so long. I lost control of it.
I forgot about that.
Slid out, and it was so early. We're just like, oh.
Have you ever done donuts in your car?
No. No.
Dude, there's been some mornings I'm so tired that I've had muscle memory of going to a certain place every morning where for example, I'll need to go to school or I'll need to go to, let's say, Riverstone, my previous job. I will literally drive for 15 minutes in the opposite direction until I realize it. I'll start daydreaming so hard that I'll realize I'm going the wrong way.
So this is totally off topic of anything, but when you used to get up for work early in the morning, what coffee did you get? Like, where did you go get your coffee?
Well, previously I had, let's say when I was going to Riverstone, I didn't pass a Dunkin' Donut. Well, I did, but I'd have to wait until I get all the way into Kennesaw because if there was a coffee shop, it was in a very inconvenient location where I'd have to sit through traffic or it'd slow me down. So I would go all the way to a Starbucks in Kennesaw. But nowadays, let's say you're going to Brownsbridge, which I'm going to Brownsbridge tomorrow morning. Oh, nice. That new Dunkin' opens at 5 a.m. every Sunday, right over there across the street from Moe's. It's next to the new Bojangles. So I went there and it was excellent.
Nice.
We used to go to Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah,
we did.
That's where I've been going.
And their coffee tastes like a bagel. It tastes like a bagel. It tastes like a melted bagel.
I like their iced coffee.
No,
Chick-fil-A has iced coffee.
It's because we drink it for literally almost every morning for 15 weeks straight. Yeah. You start to analyze how something tastes after you have it every morning for that long.
Yeah, I've been having like their regular black coffee for like
Chick-fil-A's.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks now. It's so good.
Their frosted coffee is really good.
Mm-hmm. So they really have iced coffee.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try that next time.
It was good.
Do they like what flavor is it? Is it just black coffee?
I think it's just black coffee.
You can get it with cream and sugar though.
Yeah, that's how I got it. It was good. I liked it a lot. Yeah. We get their granola cup or.
Yeah, they have like the Greek yogurt
cup.
Granola.
Then if we got a little frisky some mornings and got a biscuit.
Oh yeah, we did.
Here's what I do. I get the black coffee. I get there at 6:30 these 2 mornings that I'm up this early. I get the black coffee and I get a number 1, which is the chicken biscuit and the hash browns.
Good call, man.
Just makes my morning.
You get that every morning?
Two mornings a week.
Holy crap!
That's not too bad. 2 mornings a week.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like, I only have a cup of coffee 2 to 3 times a week. Just because I like to get up that early.
I don't drink coffee all the time. It's just when I need it.
I can't do coffee. It makes me dump my brains out.
See, that's the problem. It used to do that for me, and I love that because I was on a routine. But I think I've gotten so used to it now that I don't anymore.
Gotcha.
So
see, I can't tell because I do always have to take a shit later in the day because I eat that. I think I don't know if it's from the coffee or if it's from the chicken biscuit. So
that's the chicken biscuit scares me because it's bad stuff goes down if I eat
it's so good.
I know
Chick-fil-A just has that secret sauce. Literally the Chick-fil-A sauce.
Dude, I wish we weren't confined by time. I could talk for hours about all these things.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Chick-fil-A effed up one time. They took away the spicy dressing.
That was disappointing.
It was so sad.
They have the creamy salsa now, but it's not
as good. No. It's not the same.
It's not.
It's not. We can probably put in like one more question.
Yeah, I got time for a couple more, I think.
Oh, a couple more?
So Reese Puggett's Jew of Nerd Much says, Hey, do you know what would be wild if Nintendo made a brand new IP and made another open world game like Breath of the Wild? Would that be something you guys would be into? Is that something you think Nintendo fans would be into?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
We need a new open world game.
I can't. I'm very bad at thinking up new IPs, but let's say an existing IP that you think would be effective in an open world like that from Nintendo.
I don't know.
I mean, I think I really liked the openness of the Metroid Prime series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd call it open world. I mean, you can freely explore it.
Similar to like Mario Odyssey, where these big themed hub worlds. Yeah. But I'm thinking like truly Breath of the Wild style.
What if we had, maybe not on the scale?
Donkey Kong?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Not on the scale of Breath of the Wild, but kind of like Donkey Kong 64, where you have like a playable area. You can just do what you want.
You can like cook bananas and stuff.
Sure. Hang out with Diddy Kong.
There's like a cool parkour system where you can run along trees and swing from them, kind of like the Assassins do in Assassin's Creed.
Your coconut's durability is going down.
Regrettably, I haven't played a lot of Donkey Kong games, but I've always been a huge fan of Donkey Kong.
Okay.
I'm not sure why.
Donkey Kong Country is one of my favorite characters.
I have a feeling I did the Donald Trump hands.
I have a habit of doing that sometimes too.
I have a feeling that they're going to bring one of the retro, not like retro as in old, but one of the retro studios Donkey Kong games to the Switch. I have a feeling. Either Tropical
awesome.
Breeze or the...
I've always wanted to play
Country Returns. Country Returns and Tropical. Something tropical, something like that.
It's like Nintendo's so good, but I can hardly think of any franchises that would work in that sense. What's Xenoblade like?
It's an open world RPG.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, dude, my gosh.
I'm so excited for that.
I can't think of any new IP.
You can't think of any new IP?
For Nintendo to do that style.
Oh, that would be something new, right?
Yeah.
It could be anything.
It could be anything.
We could say
we've talked about open world games we'd like to see in the past, but I don't know.
I would be interested just to see. I don't know what teams work on like Zelda and stuff, but I just would be interested to see how it would compare to Zelda. Just on something under Nintendo, what they would take from Zelda or what they would improve.
What's the Prime series like? The Metroid Prime.
The Prime series is kind of.
Well, how does it play?
It's first person.
It's first person.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Metroid Prime. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know the term Metroidvania games? Yeah. It's like that. You get a particular skill or item, and then you're able to explore another part of the map due to that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're constantly coming across things like, oh boy, I guess I need something to get up there.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah. So would we call a Metroid game a Metroidvania game?
A Metroid Wild game?
What?
A mix with Breath of the Wild.
Okay, sure. All right.
A Mario Wild game? I'm trying to think of the vein of Breath of the Wild, that style of open world. But sure, yeah, why not Metroid? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
Last question. I got to choose which one we can probably effectively get through. I think we can get through this one. Mr. Rowan Cross says, and this is a great question too. Guys, pick a genre and break down what you think makes that genre good.
Just any genre?
I'm going to go with shooters.
Okay.
Shooters are probably my favorite. Just after
Card
shooters.
games.
Yeah, of course, card games. RPGs or just action RPGs or adventure games are right behind shooters for me. But I love shooters, and I think they're good because from a scientific perspective, it's like, it teaches really good hand-eye coordination. I'm convinced of that because, of course, when I first started playing shooters as a kid, I was awful. Now, granted, the controls for shooters have improved significantly since we were kids. But, you can, if you've played shooters enough, you can essentially pick up a controller and play any shooter well. But I like the aspect of it. Really, truly, most video games do, but the precision you have to have in some shooters, especially if you're playing on PC where there's a lack of aim assist.
Yeah, you're so simple-minded. Yeah. Only including controllers.
Right, yeah, but especially on PC, there's obviously a drastic difference in the way it feels when you play it, but the hand-eye coordination aspect of it is beneficial, I'd say. But aside from that aspect, I just love the exhilaration that shooters give me, especially, like I've said, in competitive multiplayer shooters. I love a good campaign. I've played countless of them, but I just love the unpredictability
There's
of a
nothing
shooter.
like disappointing someone on another screen.
Right, yeah, exactly. And even just some of my favorite moments have just been working with teams, even if you're just friends to complete an objective. Some of my favorite memories in any shooter, especially Halo, but any shooter, when I'm playing Capture the Flag and just the exhilaration of getting an enemy flag and barely scoring it, especially if it's for the winning with a winning point, that has always been so much fun to me. Some of my favorite memories in shooters of all time are playing Halo, Capture the Flag, getting in a Warthog and escaping an enemy base with a flag, or chasing down an enemy if they have your flag. I love objective modes in shooters, and I just love the feeling of competition and never knowing really what's going to happen, especially in games that have sandboxes like Battlefield or Halo, that literally the craziest things can happen on a whim and you have no idea how it could possibly happen. Like, for example, if someone shoots a rocket at a vehicle in Halo, it could fly through the air and kill 3 people for all you know. It's just little things like that. That's why I love competitive shooters, whether it be the varying skill levels of people working with teams. And I'm not always serious about them. Of course, I have fun with them. But whenever I'm in the mood to like really be competitive, I love those feelings. So that's why I think it's fun, because a lot of times it encourages teamwork, especially in shooters where you have to work with the team in order to succeed, like objective-based games. The hand-eye coordination aspect, and just you never really know what you're going to get when you play a multiplayer shooter. A lot of multiplayer games, but especially shooters. That's why I think it's good. But what about you guys?
I guess RPG. I like putting a...
You're stuck with racing games, Jacob. Good luck.
Putting a person...
3 genres of gaming.
I like role-playing, like actually role-playing in a game, like kind of making my own character and making decisions that I would make in a world. And obviously making myself look as cool as possible. That's honestly the main reason why I like RPGs, is just making a cool looking person.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I just like just exploring big vast worlds. Primarily in like Bethesda games. That's where I can really feel like I can role play for the most part in those worlds. It gives you a ton of decisions that you can make and stuff that shape the world for the most part. So that's primarily why I like those type of RPGs.
Cool.
Gotcha.
I totally relate.
Okay.
Especially in a Bethesda RPG.
Yeah. There you go. I'll do something similar. MMOs. They actually share a lot of the same characteristics that RPGs have to an extent.
MMORPG.
That's why they call it MMORPGs. Yeah. So,
wow.
Like creating a character. Progressing their character, exploring worlds. The huge difference being, it's a massive online space. Like it's not just you enjoying this. It's all these other millions or thousands of people, which is a really cool thing. I think that's cool in games. It's very risky to make an MMO. You have to put a lot of money into it. You have to rely on, thousands and thousands of people to constantly be playing your game to support it, because it's not cheap to keep servers running. I'll tell you that. But as if I know, like I have experience doing it.
Believe me.
But I've always, like, you guys know I love World of Warcraft. I don't play it much anymore, but I always appreciated doing, like, only in MMOs do you have like these grand scale like monsters or bosses where and you're working with tons of people to destroy. I think that's awesome, just working together and killing like really hard enemies.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just love coming off the MMO thing. And 14 does this very well. I don't know the tutorial process of WoW, but in terms of teaching you your class, like as a DPSer or as a tank, there are very good tutorials in 14 that, like, I'm playing as a DPSer right now for the first time. Nice. And it's like, hey, you need to attack these enemies that the tank is taking, and you need to attack from behind. These skills help with that. You need to watch out for AoE attacks. You need to take off these what are the little guys? The
minions?
Not minions, or like the ads or whatever.
Yeah, ads,
keep them off the tank and stuff. I love that aspect of MMOs where everybody is doing everybody's a piece of the puzzle, and they have to.
It's like a huge thing about MMOs is like going through a dungeon, for example. Like throughout dungeons, there are little groups of enemies everywhere, and basically you go into each one of these little fights, like deciding what you need to target first. What does the tank need to get the attention of?
Chums up, let's do this.
Yeah, or just Leroy Jenkins through it all, whatever. Yeah. But I just like the whole strategic, planning that goes into how to get through this place.
It's very stressful. What you need to do. The first time I played the game, I picked a tank unintentionally, and I get in. I was used to, there are like dungeons where it's just like, oh, you run in here, kill everybody, whatever, and then it like amps it up, and it's like, oh no, you actually have to do stuff now. Everybody's like yelling at me like, draw this guy, and I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm freaking out, and there's like I'm spamming like the attract skill and stuff. So
one more question before we end. Do you play with mouse and keyboard on PS4, or do you play with controller?
I play with controller right now.
Is that a good way to play
with controller?
Is it fine?
I think so. I think it's completely viable. Their
like you don't feel at a disadvantage because someone has a keyboard or something.
As of maybe later on,
like do you do PvP or something?
I mean, there is PvP. I don't know. I mean, based on what I'm doing right now, I don't feel at a disadvantage whatsoever. The control system they have, being able to access hotbars and stuff, is really functional with the controller. I mean, they had console in mind when they were making this game.
Do they have text to chat in the game?
Yeah.
So if you don't have a keyboard, what do you do?
So the PlayStation keyboard pops up. Okay. But you can just plug in a keyboard and type when you need to.
Right.
So, but I did play with you can plug in a mouse and keyboard and completely play this game, so that they give you that option and stuff too. Cool. So Beautiful. It's up to you. But yeah, will that do it for
That'll do it.
Garrett? Excellent.
Yeah, don't worry about. I had a few more in here today, but we're going to get to them next week. Because unfortunately, we ran a little over time, which sucks. But
absolutely,
it was a fun one.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. That was episode 109 of the ItsObviousGaming podcast. We had a blast. I hope that y'all did as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, by the way, we don't have time for it today, but next week I kind of want to read a couple of the reviews on iTunes because, dude, that
we
one
got
from
3 new ones this week.
Oh, did we? Dude, the one from Jacob Alka's Sexy Nips is one of the funniest things I have ever read. Holy freak! I didn't realize. Because I hadn't read all of them yet. I'd seen them, but I hadn't had time to really sit down and read them. And holy crap, that is so freaking
I think
funny.
we should just make that a segment. If we have new reviews.
I think we should have a segment where we read some reviews for sure. Because some of them are not only are they well written, but they're very kindly worded. And the fact that you guys took time to write those means so much to us. We can't thank you enough. So please, if you guys are listening out there and you're willing to leave us a review on iTunes, subscribe and rate us. Even if you don't listen to us on there. Helps us out a ton.
Helps us out so much. And if vice versa, if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, please come to youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. Subscribe to us there. And if you like the podcast, I'm sure you will like all the other content we put out as well. That helps us out a ton. Just subscribing and watching our videos, liking them, getting involved in the comments helps us out in the search algorithm and everything. So
and come check out Jacob's ass in the Spidey costume if you haven't already.
That's something you don't want to miss. We're getting a lot of good reception for that.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that come from Spotify. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, you're missing a lot of good stuff. For sure.
Like Jacob's.
Yeah.
Jacob's rear end in the Spider-Man costume.
My rear end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very nice.
It's all right.
With that to end with, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure to discuss video games and food and other things with you.
Absolutely.
My itchy ball sack. So I think that'll do it for today. And we'll see you guys next week.
Everyone have a wonderful week.
Yes, we will see you next Monday.
Okay.
Goodbye.